Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber Confucius, and this is Bosh Technique. Confucius is the person who submitted to me a while back Confusion in the Ranks Ruby Storm. It's kind of his thing to hide a pet card somewhere in a combo deck where maybe it has a moment, maybe it doesn't, but it's fun to know it's there. And this time around, he has set his sights on me, Bosh, the Iron Golem. There is one copy of Bosh in here. It may or may not result in any winning game states that couldn't be any other creature. However, if it is technically Bosh and it gets involved in the combo, I'm here for it. Hopefully there's at least one opportunity to spend 4 mana and deal 8 damage to someone throughout the league. But this is tucked inside the Creative Technique Mississippi River combo deck. Creative Technique, 5 mana sorcery with Demonstrate, which means you can copy it when you cast it if you let your opponent copy it too. Shuffle your library, reveal cards for the top of it till you reveal an on-land card. Exile that card, put the rest on the bottom. You may cast the exile card without paying its mana cost. Creative Technique can hit things of any mana value. That could be Emergent Ultimatum, cast a bunch of free spells, Call Forth the Tempest, Maelstrom Wander, and Apex Devastator all cascade multiple times. And these cascades usually end up back in another Creative Technique to restart the chain back at the top. Emrakul the Aeon's Torn is the busted top end here. This is how we close the game. And this build does feature the Tybalt's Trickery lines. This lets you have a faster combo, but it does slightly increase your fail rate. Where pure Creative Technique combo, I don't think can fail once it's going. I think that is deterministic, that you'll eventually get to Emrakul. The Tybalt's Trickery build, this lets you have this smaller cascade package, Throes of Chaos, Shardless Agent, Violent Outburst, that all end up at Tybalt's Trickery. And then Tybalt's Trickery can counter the spell that cascaded into it, and then you flip until you reveal random cards that have a different name than the cascade spell, and then you could be Apex Devastator, you could be Emrakul, whatever. That throws you back up into the random where anything can happen. The fail rate is when you run out of Tybalt's Trickeries, and then you have nothing left to cascade into, and then Throes of Chaos, Shardless Agent, and Violent Outburst become zeros for the rest of the Creative Technique spins. It's not super likely, but it can happen. This is a Yorion build of the deck, because we're having a good time. Had to make room to sneak that Bosh in there. And the goal of the deck is to just resolve one of the spells at some point, and then off we go. Let's do it. This is Bosh Technique from Confucius. I'm on the play in round 1, and this is actually kind of an interesting hand, because all we have to do in this deck is resolve a spell, and the deck has a bunch of spells in it, and this is a lot of mana. Normally looking at a 7-lander is an automatic throwback, but Volcanic Torrent, Noise Marine, Creative Technique, Throes of Chaos, Shardless Agent, Violent Outburst, Tybalt's Trickery, that's 24 5 or lower drops that we could hit that set it off. I think I am going to mulligan, but that is at least worth thinking about. Okay, here we go. I'll keep this one. This is now suddenly a turn 2 send. I'm going to bottom Tybalt's Trickery, because the deck is where we want that card to live. And I'll play Saprosan's Scary, which sets up Shardless Agent for next turn. I love that Mossfire Valley is low-key the glue holding the Cascade build of this deck together. Getting Violent Outburst mana out of an Ancient Tomb on turn 2 is so sick. Oh, Swamp. Please cast Netherglyph. Inquisition, no! Alright, well, we're going to have to roll a little higher here, or just get to Volcanic Torrent the turn after. Bobble. Inquisition of Kozilek is kind of a weird one. Mishra's Bobble's not a weird one, though. That's a perfectly normal card to be in decks. This could be some mono-black Moonshadow thing. Ooh, a Tybalt's Trickery. Well, I don't actually want that card. I'm just going to play Saprosan's Scary and set up the Volcanic Torrent for next turn. Moonshadow. Okay. If we don't see blue mana, boo. Wasteland is very good against this deck. That's why it features 4 Petrified Hamlets. Wasting the tapped Scary. Gemstone Mine. I guess I'll run that one out there. There's no reason to buy Yorion. Both of these lands will eventually die on their own, and spending 3 mana and 2 of my precious land tokens to put Yorion on my hand is not making sense to me. Another Swamp. This does look like mono black. Voidwalker is pretty cool. Could be scary. Come on, payoff card. Otawara. Okay. That does let me buy some time. And next turn, I have Volcanic Torrent as a send, which is also a Wrath. Inquisition. I kind of think I should Tybalt's Trickery this. Because getting discarded here is the way that this falls apart for me. All right, I'm going to Trickery this, which puts Trickery into the void. But also whatever. Oh, that's funny. Moonshadow grew because part of what Tybalt Trickery does is mills the controller of the spell. Okay, so I turned Inquisition into Mishra's Bauble. Did that buy me the breathing room I need here? I'm F6 from here. I'm taking 8. At least 8. Still 4 cards in that hand. Trying to fade Wasteland and Thoughtseize. I guess I didn't need a counter Inquisition. What am I doing? That didn't matter. They can't Inquisition Volcanic Turret. Yeah, I just jammed off on seeing anything. It was like, yeah, a spell. Okay. Well, I get to cast my spell, and I'm not playing against a blue deck. Throes of Chaos. That is not better than Volcanic Torrent. Okay, here we go. Cascade. It's Violent Outburst, which has to hit Tybalt's Trickery, which counters Violent Outburst. And how high up the chain do we go? Now is the moment. Creative Technique. That's how we do it. And I would like to demonstrate, which means my opponent gets to cast a spell here. Dark Ritual, if you like. Okay, might as well. That could turn on something like Sheoldred's Edict. Yeah, sure, Orcish Bowmaster. I don't draw cards. That'll be fine. And that dies to the Volcanic Torrent when this eventually resolves. This is going to deal damage equal to the spells I've cast this turn to all my opponent's creatures. Wanderer. It's Shardless Agent, which goes for the last Tybalt's Trickery in the deck. I will counter Shardless Agent with that. Violent Outburst. Sure, might as well cast it. I'm just building Storm. And this is where that fail rate kicks in. Now I Cascade. Where did this come from? How do I have another one of these? All right. I thought I was out. I think now I'm out. Tybalt's Trickery hit Call Forth the Tempest. This is another Wrath. Throes of Chaos. Yeah. I'm just building Storm for the Torrent. Shardless Agent. Okay, that cascaded into nothing. Throes of Chaos is gone. Another Cascade hits Violent Outburst, which casts nothing. Call Forth the Tempest resolves. Kills all my opponent's stuff. Get to Cascade again. Another Volcanic Torrent. I don't actually need to be doing this anymore. All right, I am not going to play Throes of Chaos. It just doesn't matter. Okay. Wanderer, Creative Technique. Can this one go all the way to the top? No. Agent, Torrent resolves. And now I'll attack for 11. Okay, Fatal Push. I'll attack for 9. Okay, yep, kind of underwhelming, but that is part of the Tybalt's Trickery range. We didn't hit any of the really big stuff. Didn't find a second technique anywhere. Another Goyf. A 5/6, that's pretty big. And another Voidwalker. Okay, that can't block. Otawara might be the saving grace here. Oh my god. Is this castable? Probably not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I only have 6 mana anyway, and it's actually kind of close to the correct colors. I guess red doesn't help me at all here. Okay, I think Otawara is going to be the reason for the season here. What's in the void? This could be terrifying. Okay, it's just my low-level Cascade spells. So if I Otawara the Nether Void, or the Nether Goyf, Zephyrus and Scary dies. I could Throes of Chaos. Do I have any Violent Outbursts left? That could force a block. Okay, 1, 2, 3 Outbursts accounted for. 1, 2, 3, 4 Agents accounted for. Am I actually deterministically Violent Outbursting here? I guess I don't want to block, though, because the block kills my 7/6 or my 7/5. Yeah, I could put them to 1 right now. It would cost me a land. If they have Nether Goyf plus a creature that can block next turn, I actually lose the race here. And I don't really want Maelstrom Wanderer in the void where my opponent can use it. Okay, I guess I am... Oh wait, hold on. I undo that? Yes, I can. I have a legend in play. I don't have to lose my Scary here. I can lose Gemstone Mine instead. Bounce Nether Goyf. Attack you to 1. And hope I'm not dead on the backswing. Yeah, leaving that mana available could matter, because that's the difference between Throes of Chaos next turn and not. Ironically, I would have lost the heck out of this game if my opponent had waited on that Bowmaster. Like, they played that Dark Ritual off of Creative Technique and immediately flashed in Bowmaster. If they had waited until after all my Wraths cleared, they would have been fine. A Voidwalker is doing something, or they're going to call Force of the Tempest, probably. Oh, Otawara as a land. Using that to hit your land drop. I guess this plays Barrogoyf, and then they're totally stable. Oh, not good for me. Uh-oh, I think I'm going to lose this game, squad. Beseiju, this does not help me. Getting Yorion would not help me. I guess I play out Beseiju here and pass the turn and try to draw another Creative Technique. That's how this goes. I chump block Barrogoyf, go to 2, and try to draw Creative Technique next turn. Bobble. You can look at my hand of powerful cards. They saw the Emergent Ultimatum, and I'm sure they're pretty glad that was in my hand and not in my Cascade Chain. Childred's Edict. All right, I'll sacrifice Shardless Agent, obviously, and I'll trade with Barrogoyf. And we're trying to rip a Creative Technique here. You draw for Bobble. I draw Creative Technique. P-Ham. That's not it. All right, GG. I'm out of Shardless Agents to cascade into. Let me just double check. I think the only thing I can cascade into is one last Violent Outburst. Okay, yep. I needed one more creature, one more damage out of all of that, but it didn't appear for me. All right, that's fine. Okay, Fury actually looks pretty good here. And I like all my top end payoffs. I don't know if I even sideboard here. Because Fury actually good. I don't need to clear like Thalias or Lavinias or anything. Well, my opponent might have Damping Spheres. So Ingot Chewer might be useful. I have a bunch of Beseijus for that sort of thing. I don't want to be completely shields down to a Disruptor Flute or a Damping Sphere. I do need to do something here. The Torrent's actually really nice. Like getting the Wrath while I was cascading made that game possible. And the obvious cut is Bosh, but I'm not doing it. Noise Marine kind of rules. Yeah, it might be Improv Capstone and Emergent Ultimatum. So having these big ones at the top end. All right, I'll cut one Torrent. Okay. Just want a couple Ingot Chewers in there. Some respect for the likely hate cards. Okay, this is not a turn 2, but I do like the mana. I'm going to keep it. Or it is a turn 2. Needle plus mine. I'm in there. Needle, pass. Opponent's on a mull to 6. Discard spells are okay against me. Wasteland's okay against me. Nethergoyf. Okay. We're going to get a send here. And this is the give and take for the Tybalt's Trickery build. Like being able to go off a turn sooner than the non-trickery builds is a big deal. I'm pretty sure Mindbreak Trap cooks me a lot of the time. Oh, Apex Devastator, let's go. Straight to the roof. The spells resolve one at a time. So actually, Mindbreak Trap might not even be that good here. All right, Trickery, counter Shardless Agent. Throes of Chaos. All right, let's get another Tybalt's Trickery. Oh, Emrakul. Just shuffled in. Oh, that resets my Tybalt's Trickeries? That's crazy. So I have 4 more sends on that one. Maelstrom Wanderer. Emrakul in the graveyard. Would I rather cascade before or after shuffling Emrakul? I guess before. Yeah, that just keeps the Tybalt's Trickery density. I mean, this is like a random mill 1, 2, or 3 off the top of my 80 card deck. So cycling your Emrakul is not a real plan, but it is cool that that happened. Shardless Agent, Trickery, target, throws. I actually want the Shardless Agent. Apex Devastator, we're back, baby. All right, I've got 8 Cascades still on the stack here. Okay, I guess I have to counter Shardless Agent now. I'm getting bigger creatures, it's fine. There's Emrakul. Game or Mindbreak Trap. Those are your options. Okay, here we go. It's going to work. I'm going to cast this without demonstrating. I have the win already as long as I don't feed my opponent too much. Tybalt's Trickery. I'm actually going to stop just for my sanity's sake. So I guess I am trying to get Bosh into play. I'll play Creative Technique. Emergent Ultimatum, let's go. All right, I get a Creative Technique, a Tempest, and an Apex Devastator. Opponent shuffles one of those into my deck, and I can cast the other 2 for free, which I would like to do. Please and thank you. All right, they've had enough. They don't want to see anything else. Fudge, yeah. Okay, Nethergoyf die. We know that's in the range now. On the draw, do I like Volcanic Torrent more than I like Noise Marine? And do I like Ingature more than any of that? Noise Marine can straight up kill my opponent. When it enters, it deals damage equal number of spells you've cast to any target. That's really good. And being 1 damage short like I was last game kind of stinks. Yeah, I think I'm going same squad. Call the crib, same number, same hood. It's all good. 3 mana and it's all green. Though Bosh is here. I think I have to mulligan this one. This is a turn 3 send. I'm going to keep in bottom Trickery. This hand is Inquisition of Kozilek proof, a card I know they play at least 2 of. It's very bad against Wasteland. It becomes very good if I draw Ancient Tomb. Nethergoyf. Okay. That's much safer when you're on the play than on the draw. Ooh, P-Ham. Let's turn off Wastelands. Okay, that's one of the primary ways that their deck can interact with my deck, and now it's gone. Moon Shadow. Looted Delta can grow the Moon Shadow. It's fun being able to just F6 and watch all this happen. I'm not going to interact. I don't do stuff. Inquisition, we got him. Played around it. Yeah, put that right in the graveyard. Throes of Chaos does also theoretically insulate versus Thoughtseize because it has Retrace. I just need to find another land to cast it. There's another land right now, which is great. It's also an untapped land, which means I can send the throws next turn. I'm feeling pretty insulated here. I don't lose to a discard spell. They can't Wasteland. They would need something like a Damping Sphere or like Voidwalker into Thoughtseize off of 3 mana, I guess would stop my Retrace. Attacking for 5. Voidwalker, uh-oh. Do they have it all? No. Okay, we're good. And it's party time, team. Play Otawara, throw my Chaos, and hope for the best. Outburst. I'm going to Trickery the throws because Outburst resolving might actually be a difference maker. Oh, wow. Tybalt's Trickery blind milled 2 other Trickeries. That actually fucks up my chain really bad. They went right into the void. Wow. Or was that the first Trickery resolving? What did I just see? And I'm not crazy, right? You all saw a bunch of Tybalt's Trickeries in the void? I don't know. I don't know, man. Okay. Creative Technique. I'm going and I'm demonstrating it. Yes, use this ability. Oh, wow. They hit Disruptor Flute. I mean, you gotta name something now, and these creative techniques are already on the stack. Like Tybalt's Trickery is probably a pretty good name, but that is about the best thing that could happen for them, getting blind served a hate rock. What is the name with it? I'd probably name Trickery here if I were them, because that's where the chain ends up in the fail case. And if I hit any of my big O's, you're just trying to guess Apex Devastator, Emrakul, Maelstrom Wanderer, or whatever. But you can actually cut off the bottom. Yeah, okay. And that's what they did. Shardless Agent. It's gonna work. I hit Trickery, which I can't cast. Creative Technique. Give me a big one. All right, another technique. Let's go. We're back in the moon, and I have to demonstrate this because I have to find the top end. Most of their cards will not be Disruptor Flute. Force of Despair. All right, you want to kill my Shardless Agent? Go ahead. Okay, Shardless Agent's dead. Apex Devastator. Now we're in. Let's go. Call forth the Tempest. This will at least kill all their creatures, even if nothing else happens here. And they've had enough. Cool. Yeah, that was a little scary, but made it work. Trust in the flow of the river. On to the next round. This year, September 18th through 20th, I'll be attending my 4th consecutive Commander Sealed event in Rochester, New York. This event is really awesome, incredible community, and the main event is one of the most brain-busting, limited sealed deck environments you could imagine, and the gameplay is incredible as well. There's a whole weekend full of events, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to do stuff, and most importantly, the entire event is there to benefit charity. I am personally chipping in my part to raise money for Trans Lifeline. Whether you're able to attend the main event or not, chipping in a few bucks to my donation link helps me out, helps the event out, keeps this thing crushing its mission year after year. I'll see you there if you can make it, and if you can't, thanks for the support. This donation link is in the video description. I'm on the draw in round 2 with a turn 2 send. I'm in. I'll keep. Tundra. Okay, the Tundra decks are also Stifle decks and Wasteland decks these days. That's a little distressing. I can bully through one Wasteland, two would be tough. Blue-white. Okay. I don't give a shit about that. Okay, my opponent could Force of Will a Tybalt's Trickery, and then I'd have to just send again on the following turn. But I should at least do this now, while Stifle isn't an option. Trickery, target Outburst. Moment of Truth. Okay, dazing the Trickery, fair enough. I will send again next turn. There's an island in their hand. And I think here I am going to play around Daze with Shardless Agent. Play Otawara, Shardless Agent, leave a red floating. There it is. Okay, yep, they're doing it. Doing the thing. That did keep them from developing Felia this turn, and I can play my tap land next turn and then Creative Technique into it the turn after that. I'm kind of Boseiju flooded, which is a legendary land. I can't just play these out. Brainstorm from the op. Wasteland, please take Boseiju. Nice, we did it. Okay, I was not going to be able to play a card next turn anyway. That was about as good as that could go for me. Sandstone Needle, get that back in the mix. That's not Wasteland. I'll take it. Tamiyo's in. Okay, Throes of Chaos. Yeah, that's how I'm doing this. I'm going to throw the Chaos now. This is Stifleable, Consignable, and Dazable. But I can send again next turn with Creative Technique and get my Demonstrate. Cracking the Clue. That feels desperate. Violent Outburst. There are 3 Trickeries still in the deck. Trickery, target throws. Creative Technique. Let's party. I am going to Demonstrate. Okay, they Demonstrate, found Force of Will, which is the same as not demonstrating, so that's fine. That's a wash. Creative Technique number 2. Hit Emrakul the Aeon Stored. Yeah, I'll cast that one. What do we think? What do we say? Yeah. Okay. Woo! Living our best lives here. This might just be a don't sideboard situation. Most of my sideboard is for faster combo decks than me. That's what all these Chancellors and Leylines are about. I don't expect them to have artifacts that interact with me. Fury could clean up some Tamiyos and Felias or whatever, but yeah, I don't think I'm worried about that. Let's go. Okay, good mana, Throws Up Chaos, P-Ham for Wasteland. Let's go. I'm in. An island. Let's see if they stifle the Hamlet trigger. That would actually be pretty interesting. They did not. The Wasteland is not available anymore. End step Brainstorm. Hopefully shuffling away a bunch of Wastelands. They've got a Flooded Strand. Ooh. I was about to say, I'll probably take my time to play around Daze, but now Shardless Agent saves me a mana, and I can play around Daze without spending an extra turn developing. Okay. Containment Priest. Everything that happens this game is cast. There is nothing that does. Except turns off their Felia, blinking their own Riddler. Okay. I have to start spending the mana that dies. Shardless Agent. Stifle remains very good. Okay. I've got a 2/2 for your 2/2. The board is stable. If they flash out a Felia here, they could start just picking off my random critters. Kept the card on top. Wasteland. Oh no, it's a Valley of Gorzaroth. Maybe this one works. Still a Wasteland in the rules. Sorry, Lord of the Rings. Emrakul in my hand. That's not where I want that. Okay, Crystal Vein doesn't die over time. I could play a second P-Ham and name Flooded Strand. Or I could name Wasteland. Do I want to name Caracas? Do I care about that? I might. Okay, I'm going to ham naming Caracas. And then I'll throw the Chaos. Okay, Chaos. Throw it. Shardless Agent. Another one. Tybalt's Trickery. Counter the Throes of Chaos. This is where one would interact with a Force of Will if they had it, and they do have it. Get another Shardless Agent. And Throes of Chaos resolves. Air quotes resolves. And I'm on the beatdown now. They're force pitch to force. I like that. And my plan is to cast Throes of Chaos every turn for the rest of the game. Okay, there's Felia. Because of their own priest, that can only delete my creatures. They can't do big scams. Oh my god. Please forget. Please forget. This is a draw 2. Felia's attacking. Oh, they forgot. We might see a shame concession in a second here. And I'll trade with Felia too. Let's just get it all. Okay, they have a new Felia. That's fine. Getting their hand down to 1 to draw 2 cards. But wait, that goes straight into exile. Unlucky. Nothing could have been done about that. And I'm going to flashback Throes of Chaos here. And I am not going to play around Daze. I've made that executive decision. Flashback or retrace, discarding Otawara. And I'm throwing my Chaos. Trickery. Brainstorm. All right, could find the Daze. Ooh, look at you. All right, yep. That's fine. That was a decision I made for myself, by myself. And I'm going to attack because Felia can permanently delete my Shardless Agent anyway. I guess the question for myself is, why didn't I play around Daze? I could have just sacked the Crystal Vein. They had 1 card in hand. Okay, they figured it out. Exiled my creature this time. Quantum Riddler goes into the Warp Zone. All right, this time, I guess I will play around Daze. Time to become a big wuss. Red. 1, 2, 3, 4. Row of Chaos. And I'm going to discard Standstone Needle. I don't know if I'm going to have time for all that. Violent Outburst. Default's Trickery. Target throws. They would have stifled by now if they had that, so it has to be a counterspell. Hydroblast. Nice one. Okay. Well, I'm almost out of trickeries, which means my game plan is going to have to work next turn, if it's ever going to work. Quantum Riddler can be cast from the Void here, which is fine, because that taps them out at least. And it was only a draw 1. Okay, they have the mana up for Stifle again. No action from Felia. Oh, I do have to draw a land also. This is a multi-step process. Or I could draw a Violent Outburst straight up. Okay, well, I guess that's what's happening. Last chance. Trickery, target outburst. Oh no. Oh wait. This is going to work because of the Emrakul. Oh my god. Oh my god. I just RNG milled an Emrakul, got all 4 trickeries back into the deck. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. It's just good deck building. All right, we're tricking again. 2 Cascades this time. Let's go. From 7. Top rope. Noise Marine. We're doing stuff. Things are happening. Default's Trickery. I guess countering the Noise Marine is good enough here to keep things going. Yeah, the Cascade already happened. The body isn't really the important part of that. Throws of Chaos. Trickery. Counter throws. Improvisation Cap Zone. Let's go. And now I get to do something every turn. If this somehow fails, which it might. Oh, I get to cast 2 spells. All right. Call forth the Tempest and Shardless Agent in that order. And here come various Cascade triggers. Shardless Agent. Another one of these. Default's Trickery. Counter Shardless Agent. Throws of Chaos. I think I'm out of trickeries, but I'll send it anyway. Violent Outburst. I do have multiple cards happening right now that care about how much mana I've spent or how many storms I've stormed. All right, this needs to be a good one. Throws of Chaos. It wasn't a good one. Spoilers. Violent Outburst. Okay, I've got one more big Cascade, plus I got the Wrath going. Shardless Agent. Each creature opponent controls equal to total mana value of other spells cast this turn. Holy moly. Yeah, 8,000 damage. Throws of Chaos. Might as well put it in the graveyard. I don't want to draw it. Violent Outburst. Sure, I'll play that too. Get it out of the way. All right, this was ultimately pretty modest, but I do get to attack for 9. And we'll see if opponent can come back from this. 3 life. Chillin'. Yeah. Okay, that was a complete disaster of a Cascade, saved by a Miracle Emrakul on my last random Tybalt's Trickery Mill 2 that also didn't do anything extra. But it was still good enough. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in round 3. I am going to keep. I have a turn 3 Cascader, which is my bar for keeping a hand. I have mana to cast spells and something to cast with them. And I have the Soul Land plus Mossfire Valley combo in case I draw one of my lower cost Cascaders. I think the best setup here is playing Sandstone Needle on 1, because then that gives me Throes of Chaos on 2, as well as any of the 3-mana ones. Or, no, that would rule out Shardless Agent. So I could play into Shardless Agent, or play into Throes of Chaos. Most of my deck is red. I'm going to go with the Sandstone Needle. Opponent's on a mull to 6. The Hamlet. Cool. Turned off Wasteland for me. You got it. All right, deal. I'm not afraid of Wasteland anymore. That's always a welcome draw. All right, I don't have to play Scary here. I can just play Ancient Tomb. Yeah, just in case this game goes a turn longer, I'll play out the Tomb. I guess I also could have played out one of the Valleys and just chilled and hid the Ancient Tomb, but I don't think the person turning off Wasteland on turn 1 is going to attack my lands. Planar Nexus, okay. Let's go. Creative Technique is more powerful, but if my opponent is some Trinisphere deck, that could backfire on me. Like, I don't know entirely what the range is on a deck like this right now. All right, I guess what I'm going to do is send it. With the full demonstrated technique, I'm just going to do the thing that I think will work most of the time. Because even if they hit like a Karn or an Ugin, I don't necessarily care about that. It has to be Trinisphere. Don't do it to me. Okay, stock up. Okay, if they're blue Tron, I'm pretty glad I demonstrated that. Like if that stock up finds Force blue card, that's the same as Creative Technique finding Force of Will. All right, Throes of Chaos. We're back. Shardless Agent. Doing stuff. Trickery. Counter the throws. Hit Maelstrom Wanderer. We're wandering now. Default's Trickery. Counter the Shardless Agent. Find a Violent Outburst. Trickery. The Outburst. All right, they've had enough. Tapping out. Okay, we're against Blue Tron. This is a deck that is likely to interact through artifacts some amount. I think the Volcanic Torrents can come out. I don't think they're going to have a bunch of creatures I need to sweep up. That's an easy one. I really like Noise Marine, but I think I like Ingot Chewer better. And I'll take these 3 Ingot Chewers and go in like that. I am missing a mana, but I do have my Potent Sideboard card. I'm going to trust that my deck full of mana generates mana, and I'm going to keep this hand. Oh, not even necessarily missing mana, because if I'm willing to sack the Ruins, I have a turn 2 send. But knowing they're a blue deck, that makes me a little bit nervous. I'm not entirely committed to that life. And I can evoke an Ingot Chewer on turn 2 if they have Trinisphere right now. They didn't have that one. Violent Outburst. Okay. I guess I will pass the turn. The problem is I lose to Force of Will here. And these blue ramp decks do play that card. Is Scryed to the top with Kozilek's Command. Petrified Hamlet. They could name Dwarven Ruins and I can't sack it. Still naming Wasteland. Committed to the bit. Okay, Karn. I could Trickery the Karn. Or I could Trickery what comes out of Karn next turn. If they end up fighting me here. Alright, I am going to Trickery the Karn. Like, this could end up being, like, Emrakul. I don't know. This could end up worse. My best situation is if they force Tybalt's Trickery right now. Like, they could also flip a Kozilek's Command that they have to cast for 0. Like, this could just be a full blank. Yes! Alright, Force Pitching Trainer. That's good. Karn, grabbing, hopefully something that doesn't stop me this turn. Ensnaring Bridge. Okay, let's go. I'm going to send it, and they just spent a force on something else. Through Ancient Tomb. Okay. I can now do my thing without losing my land. Let's throw some chaos around. There are 3 trickeries still in the deck. Hit Bosh on the first hit. Let's go. Its ability can't be activated. That's so fucking funny. All right. I have Bosh, Iron Golem in play. If my opponent goes for Mycosynth Lattice here, Bosh is a 6/7 with trample. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I can just kill Karn, and I have Ingot Chewer for the bridge. All right, yeah, this might be hardcast Ingot Chewer, attack Karn, and hope my opponent's out of juice. Karn plus on nothing. 2 cards in my opponent's hand. Sandstone Needle. All right, I'll play that. I'll get set up for next turn. Cast the hard way. Big Chewerino. Kill the bridge. What is this shit? Tishana's Tidebinder? That's wild. I've never had an Ingot Chewer Tishana's Tidebound before. A lot of fun. Fun was had. Okay, now I think I'm dead to Lattice. A Tidebinder is a noteworthy card, though. Right, is there any game to play anymore? I don't think so. Right, like, they'll figure their way out of this somehow. I guess if they get stuck with 3 cards in hand, but they have so much mana, and Karn is still active. No, I'm good. I don't have to keep doing this. Just had to think about it for a second. Okay. I like Ingot Chewer. Tishana's Tidebinder is pretty nasty. But I think betting on speed. Also, like, if that Bosh was just something with Cascade, we probably win that game. Actively cost me that game, but that's okay. We love him anyway. All right, I'm going back in with the same pile. It's mostly about speed here. This is a turn 3. I'll keep it. Do I lead on Crystal Vein, just in case? I guess I would lead on Mossfire Valley, just in case. They're pretty similar. The just in case is just in case I draw Violent Outburst. Opponent has taken a deep mulligan. They're on 4. I'm going to play Valley. This doesn't tap for any mana of its own, but it also doesn't really give away what I'm building towards. Lantern Nexus. Okay, I'm a little more willing to get bullish on this Beseiju now that I have 2 of them. I'm going to Beseiju the Planar Nexus in there. I meant to deal in their draw step, but upkeep's fine, I guess. And what I don't want is this Maul to 4 to just be a turn 2 Tron situation. Okay, that lets me send without sacrificing a land. I'm in. And I'm going to send for the next 3 turns in a row. Start this agent. Tibalt's Trickery, target the throws. This is the time to force if you're going to force. We know their opponent has 5 spells in hand because they missed a land drop. Force of Negation, exiling the throws. That's really smart. I could have played around Force of Negation specifically by targeting Shardless Agent, but that's worse against all other situations because that fizzles the Tibalt's Trickery and exiles the throws, so I can't keep doing it. That was a super tight decision. A crime of opportunity that I facilitated. Mossfire Valley, attack with Shardless Agent, and I think I'm just going to put Yorion in my hand. This card is not trivial to cast, but nothing else is going on. Okay, Thundertrap Trainer, found Force of Will, tough beats. Petrified Hamlet. This does not actually turn off any of the lands in their deck because it only affects mana abilities. Gemstone Mine, attack with Agent. I think Yorion's actually going to matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a 10 drop, my god. All right, I'm going to hold on to the Beseiju. I could go after this tower just in case they rip Planar Nexus, but I'm not that interested in even doing that. The Wanderer. Oh, I can cast that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can do this without even losing my Crystal Vein. Hell yeah. All right, P-Ham. Urza Saga? I don't know. Oh, I don't even know if there's something that matters here. But I'm certainly not naming Wasteland. I don't believe they have that. Oh, this is an 8 drop. I thought it was 7. All right, I'll still cast it. Cascade, Cascade! That's a magazine you can buy. Noise Marine, let's go. All right, I'm doing some damage this turn. Vault's Trickery. Oh, I hate countering Noise Marine. I love that guy. All right, I'm still doing it. Okay, force on the Trickery. Or force on the Marine. Yes, that is the correct way to do that. And Tibalt's Trickery. I guess I'm countering my Maelstrom Wanderer, which might be worse than just letting my 7-power creature into play. Throes of Chaos. I think I have 1 Trickery left. Okay, Outburst. The final Trickery is here. I'm going to target the throws. Call forth the Tempest. Let's go. We're back to the big cascades. I need a technique though. Yeah, Throes of Chaos doesn't actually really help. It does build cards cast though, and putting like the Violent Outburst matters for me to attack for more with my agent. All right, we need a good one. Improvisation Capstone, that could get there. And Emrakul, GG, let's go. Not bad. I kill all my opponent's stuff. My Shardless Agent is a 4/2. Opponent's got one turn to deal with Emrakul. Or no, they don't, because I cast it. And it's my bonus turn. Going for the flawless victory. Oh, I get to improv again? Let's go, right? This is how this works. And we remain undefeated. I just won a match of Legacy where Bosh Iron Golem was in play. That has happened. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 4. I've got 5 mana and a Cascade spell. I'm going to keep. I'm going to lead on Woodlot because that one casts Violent Outburst and Shardless Agent. Or I guess it's the same, right? Yeah, No, it's not. Yeah, the Sap Prison Scary plus Gemstone Mine doesn't cast Violent Outburst. Yeah. I'll lead on Hickory Woodlot to maximize my good rips. Ancient Tomb. All right, what are we doing with that? Gemstone Mine. All right, Sap Prison Scary, and I am prepared to begin the party next turn. Okay, what kind of Ancient Tomb are you? You're the type of deck with 2 Ancient Tombs. Karn. Okay. I might be able to beat that. Karn has made a wish. Or Liquid Metal Coating. Okay, they're setting up for next turn. Torrent does hit Planeswalkers. Oh, Creative Technique. That's got to be better. Yeah, I will demonstrate my technique. All right, don't do anything stupid. Tezzeret, that one's not a big deal. And the fences are being swung for. Let's go. Kind of stinks that 3 of my best hits are in my hand already, but I kept the hand. All right, that's a pretty good hit. Let's go. Violent Outburst. Okay. Mediocre, but it's happening. Yeah. All right, we got haste now. They're dead. Yeah, this is actually just lethal. Counter the Outburst. Throws of Chaos. Keep it throwing. Outburst. Counter the throws. Shardless Agent. Am I out yet? Well, it's going to be a 2/2 haste. I think I have 1 left. I do. I can counter Violent Outburst. I'll take my 2/2 haste. Apex Devastator. This Apex is so devastated. Throws of Chaos. Yeah, I'll cast it to get it out of the way. And to make it 2/2. All right, Yorion, you can get out of the way. We're not going to need you here. All right, let's see if Bosh can be involved in winning this game. Creative Technique, I'm not going to demonstrate. I've already won. I don't want to accidentally give them anything good. Volcanic Torrent, hell yeah. Your Planeswalkers, they're dead. I hope you liked those. Throes of Chaos. Shardless Agent, another 2/2. The beats continue. A Torrent kills all your stuff. Call forth the Tempest. I'll call it forth. Think I won't? Noise Marine. That might kill you before Bosh even shows up. Throes of Chaos. Just charging the Noise Marine. Make it super noisy. Noise Marine resolves. I've never triggered this card before, but it feels pretty cool. Oh wow. I cast that many spells already? That just 20-balled my opponent. Nice. Okay. We appear to be against a colorless Tezzeret Karn deck. That is a pretty nice place to be, actually. Ingot Chewer is definitely my weapon. I think the Torrents come out. And Noise Marine. Card is nice. I could board out a couple Petrified Hamlets to get my Ingot Chewers in. I still have 38 lands. This is one of my worst lands, and I don't think my opponent's going to have Wasteland. Yeah, I'm going to go for it. I don't think these Chancellors are worth it here. The Chancellor is extra sweet, because if this is a Mystic Forge style deck, just flipping a Chancellor might make their combo not possible. And then I hit them 4 times and they die. Well, I have the stuff. This is a turn 2 send. I'm in. This is not a deck that can play Damping Sphere, but something like Disruptor Flute is possible. And Chalice doesn't matter to me. And they could certainly play Trinisphere. I don't know if they're more on the Tron side or more on the combo side. We did see the Tezzeret. All we saw was Karn and Tezzeret that game. When it's on the Mull to 5. Ancient Tomb, good start. Grim Monolith, also a good start. Manifold Key. All right, how far is this going? Is this like turn 2 Mycosynth Lattice? I could play Karn right now. Oh my god. This might actually just not be beatable. If they get Liquid Metal Coating, I just never get a land for the game. Wow, I had the turn 2 and they needed to basically turn 1 me and they did. Do I have any way out of this? I don't think so, because they're just going to blow up my land every turn. I guess I'll play the Needle. Like, the Besaju's right there, but it's gonna... I can't get to 2 mana. I guess I need them to, like, do something else, but why would they? Ancient Tomb, Untap Monolith. Okay, yeah, I mean, they could do both of these things. I guess dying to their own ring is now possible. They have 2 Ancient Tombs that they're tapping for mana, and if they want to draw cards as well, incredible stuff. Okay, good mulligan. And now I have to hope they die to this ring. Petrified Hamlet. Sure, I'll play that, and I guess name Urza Saga. I don't know. Like, I don't care if this dies. I mean, I care insofar as it's a land at all, but like if this convinces them to do something else with Karn for a turn cycle, then maybe that gets the Beseju in business. This land is so mediocre. If they just lattice me. Okay, they did get lattice, but that's not necessarily game over. Oh wait, yes it is, because this can attack me for 6 faster than the 1 ring will kill them if they just don't tap their ring anymore. That's how that goes, right? I guess I'll play Mossfire Valley and give them the option to play bad and mess up. Like if they tap too many, if they keep casting spells or if they keep tapping the ring, it takes 4 hits to kill me and the ring is ticking down or ticking up. It's not ticking up though. If they just stop taking game actions, they win. Oh, they're tap the ring? Okay. For Monolith stuff happening. Tezzeret. Untaps Monolith. Urza Saga, we did it. Got your ass. Okay. I'm good now. GG. Okay, Urza Saga is in the deck. In Chancellor of the Annex would have won me that game because they wouldn't have been able to dump out like that on turn 1. But I'm on the play now, so I can just do that myself. Do I think Ingot Chewer is better than Chancellor of the Annex? If I have one of these in my opening hand, because other than that, it doesn't matter. So if it does end up in a mid-game scenario, all right, I'm not going to mulligan to either of these cards, and I guess if I just high roll one of them into my hand, that's fine. I would like to play first. I have the Chancellor, but it doesn't do anything, and I have 2 trickeries here. That's a mulligan. This is turn 3. That might be too slow. But I can Beseju on turn 2. All right, I'll keep this and bottom the Maelstrom Wanderer. Okay, I have the turn 3 on the play with Beseju to bridge. Bonus on 6. I'll lead on Crystal Vein and pass the turn. Tower. Key. Okay, pretty modest. Saprison Scary. I can't afford to develop that because I have to hold up Beseju this turn. Okay, a second tower. That's good. That's not Planar Nexus. I can blow up Grim Monolith in response to them untapping it. And then they'll have 2 mana to do stuff with. Trinisphere. Okay, that's fine. Also, same thing happens here. I Beseju the thing I care about and then untap and go for it. All right, that's gone. Do you have any lands that meet the criteria? No, you don't. Violent Outburst. I can't actually cast that one, so it has to be Shardless Agent. All right, let's go. Try to get up to one of the big ones. Trickery, target agent. Call forth the Tempest. We found a big one. Creative Technique. Okay. Oh, this is going to be a tough decision. Knowing their deck has Trinisphere in it, I guess now is my time to send, though. I'm going to just creative technique. I'm going to demonstrate and hope that they just hit like a manifold key or some shit. Okay, demonstrate. This technique is one of my only cards that goes back up the chain, and we've seen what happens when I run out of trickeries at the bottom of the chain. This is way scarier than doing it versus a blue deck, though. And if they have Mindbreak Trap, they could cast a spell for free and then wipe out my whole stack, except for this Cascade. And I really hope they didn't have Trinisphere and Mindbreak Trap. That's a lot. Okay, they demonstrated Kozilek's command. This does draw a card if they cast it. It's scry 0, draw 1, and exile 0 cards or make 0 tokens. But it is something. And now my turn, I hope. Devastating. Okay. One more Cascade. Where's it going to go? All right, it's going to go to Tybalt's Trickery. I have one more of those. So this has to work. All right, Trickery. Send me back up to the roof. Second Mindbreak Trap. Okay. Yeah, pretty good hand. I can cast another creative technique turn after next. If I draw an untapped land, I can do it next turn. But I'm out of trickeries. I can't Cascade down anymore. Urza Saga and 5 mana available, 2 cards left. A Monolith, untap, Disruptor Flute. If that name's creative technique, I've just been sent back into the Stone Age. I've used all my Tybalt's Trickeries. I kind of hope they name that. Tybalt's Trickery. Okay, great. That gives me a window. They've got 1 card in their hand and an active Urza Saga. Untapped land, I can send it. Untapped land, okay. Petrified Hamlet, name Urza Saga. Saga, and I'm going to go for it. I will once again demonstrate my technique and hope they just don't have a good hit. Fuck off. Oh my god. Why isn't it Manifold Key? Why? Apex Devastator? Yeah, that would win the game if I could cast it. God damn it. All right, whatever. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is sponsored by Ultimate Guard. I travel all over the world playing Magic with very expensive cards. I trust Ultimate Guard products to protect the tools of my trade wherever I go. Whether you like magic art, licensed art from other worlds, entirely original art, or the simplicity of plain colors, their products have incredible range to match anyone's style. Protect your cards how I do, stay up to date with all the new releases at ultimateguard.com, and stop by the Ultimate Guard section of your local game store. I'm on the draw in the final round. Positive records locked, playing for the bread and butter 4-1. I have P-Ham. I don't have red mana. I do have blue-green mana. Red is most of what I'm working with. I am going to keep this and just keep the faith that my 40 lands in my deck let me do stuff. Swamp. Thoughtseize. Okay. Thoughtseizing this hand mostly. I mean, taking Violent Outburst slows me down a little bit. If they misunderstand what's going on and take Tybalt's Trickery, that would be great, but working my way up to Creative Technique is fine. Right, Petrified Hamlet, I'm going to name Wasteland just in case this is a fair deck. If it's Vroomsday or Storm, it doesn't matter. Looted Delta. Swamp Swamp. Super Shredder, okay. Great deck to name Wasteland against. Another mono black aggro deck. This is going to be about finding my red before I am deceased. He just bobbled me. I hope they saw some red land. Another Hamlet. I don't think I need 2 of those. I'll develop my double land now. Moon Shadow. There's a lot of damage stacking up here, as is their way and their job. Dothy Voidwalker. That could be scary. If they Thoughtseize this Emrakul, I'm in some trouble. All right, come on, red source. Rose of Chaos. Okay, 2 polluted deltas have been used. Petrified Hamlet. Do they have any other tech lands? I could name a random fetch. I could double up on Hamlet on Wasteland. A red source sends it anyway, so developing a green source I don't think matters. All right, Hamlet. I'll just name Polluted Delta. It's tough they've already used 2 of them, but if I can stop 1 fetch land from fetching, that works for me. And now I just need to draw a red land. All there is to it. And not get my Emrakul Thoughtseized in the meantime. I'm at 9. Big rips. Besage you. I'll play that out. And pass the turn. They can put me to 1 here. Dead if they could put anything in any graveyard. Okay, I'm at 1. What could possibly be in their hand? Just a bunch of creatures, I guess. Okay. red source to take it from the jaws of defeat. Whack. All right. Yeah, dead. Sure. I did keep the hand. Okay. Fury can line up here. Or, yeah, I don't think taking pressure off. This is the same conversation we had in round 1. I don't think taking pressure off is better than disrupting something like Damping Sphere. I'll get a couple Ingot Chewers in here. What did I do last time? I think I went down on Noise Marine and kept my sweepers in. All right, let's do it. Okay, this hand has the opposite situation, but I think I like this fine too. And turning off the Wastelands out of their deck is a big deal to me. And this hand is resilient to discard because I don't care about any of the cards in it. And I'm trying to top deck one of my sends. Opponent has kept 7. Gonna Hamlet the Wastelands. Start there. Blue to Delta. Getting that out of the way. That was what the second Hamlet was gonna name. Dark Ritual. Uh-oh. May Scornful Striker. I could just die in the middle of comboing to that card. Crystal Vein. I think I'd like my red invested here as much as I'd like to just randomly turn off polluted deltas, which could make a lot of their stuff worse. Developing my red, giving myself the chance to high roll here. Casting Ingot Chewer as 5 mana 3/3 might be a play in this game. A fetch land that was not Bloodstained Mire. Step in the right direction. May is attacking. Every attack that comes through is a spell I don't get on my Cascade Chain. Okay, Disruptor Flute. Now Ingot Chewer has text. Hell yeah. 5 mana 3/3 that kills your flute. It's getting better every second. Violent Outburst. Okay. So that shows a little lack of understanding, because Violent Outburst ends up on Tybalt Trickery. Like, they're doing their best here. Probably not super familiar with what the deck does. When, why would you be? Saprison Scary is great. That lets me play Ingot Chewer next turn, which is actually what I'm trying to do. It lets me play it next turn without losing a land. I could cast it right now if I'm willing to delete all my lands to do it, which I'm not. Yorion might be part of this game too. I could cast it off the Scary. I could flicker Ingot Chewer, destroy another artifact. Oh my god. Undercity Sewer. Kept a card on top. Didn't attack. Interesting. Was that a misclick, or do they think I have creatures with flash? I'll take the life points, whatever just happened. Oh, Shardless Agent. I like you. Okay, P-Ham. I'm going to name Polluted Delta. And the Fairway. Nice 2/2 first strike you've got there. It would be a shame if I put this big wiener-looking mole guy in front of it. There is a story from Lorwyn Block Development. If you haven't heard it, this was supposed to be the art for Shriekmaw. This is the art that came in for Shriekmaw, but it wasn't spooky enough. And then the art that came in for Aether Snipe was too spooky. And then the art that came in for Ingot Chewer was too big. And then they just switched the 3 around. So Ingot Chewer, the art that was submitted ended up on Aether Snipe. Aether Snipe started as Shriekmaw, and Shriekmaw started as this. Okay, I am stuck on mono red, which is the opposite problem as I had last game. I'll just put Yorion in my hand and rock out here. I mean, I'm now dead to a Thoughtseize because they have a Dauthi Voidwalker. Would they just Emrakul me? Ah! Got him! Okay, I'm just looking for a red or a green or blue mana. Or I have blue. I need green mana. Both of these cards are green. All these cards are green. Inquisition of Kozilek. Oh, thank Poseidon that it's that and not the other one. Okay, opponent loses some life to that. Took the Violent Outburst, even though that is the same card as Shardless Agent, but deals more damage to me through May. Alright, here we go. It's time to party. I can't do this without losing a land. Would I rather have blue in the future? I could sack the Crystal Vein and have blue up as things happen here. Yeah, I guess with Shardless Agent in my hand and Yorion, losing the Crystal Vein is probably better. Alright, I will demonstrate my technique. I lose 2 life, and I'll see if I can successfully combo through May. Some of my stuff is creatures, some of it's not. I am going to demonstrate. They hit Moonshadow, that's fine. You can have Moonshadow. And let's see where this goes. Apex Devastator, good start, good start. and I don't have to do these other things. So like Violent Outburst into Tybalt's Trickery, that is lose 4 off of May. Is there a spot where I'd be happier to do that? I don't think so. And let's use the life points now while I've got them. Trickery, the Outburst. I go to 9 off of all this. There is a point where I should probably just stop playing spells. Creative Technique. All right, well, that today is not this day. Demonstrate. If I can give Devastator haste or find Noise Marine, they found Thoughtseize. Well, I'm dead to Emrakul next turn, so I'm better just make it happen right now. If they even want to take 4 to Thoughtseize me, if they don't think that's what the game is about, and they declined, okay. There we go, now I have haste. I should be good from here. I can decline casting these spells. I'm not going to throw into Chaos. 7/5 haste. Creative Technique. Bosh! He's going to be involved in a win. He's going to attack for lethal. 6/7, 6/7. Creative Technique. I will go again, and I'm not going to demonstrate this one. I have enough, but this one I can afford. A Technique. Hit Shardless Agent. I'm going to decline the Tybalt's Trickery. That's another attacker. Apex Devastator. Call forth the Storm. This kills all my opponent's creatures, puts me to 3. All right, I don't think I'm going to get Lightning Bolted out of the game. Shardless Agent, yes. Tybalt's Trickery, no. Creative Technique. You may cast the card. All right, I can decline any amount of this. I'm not going to Violent Outburst. I will call forth the Tempest, kill all your shit. Now I'm not dead to my Emrakul anymore. And now that thing's dead, so I will Violent Outburst. Let's go back up. Let's go back up the chain. Tybalt's Trickery, counter Violent Outburst. You've had enough. And I have now won a game where Bosh Iron Golem was involved. He was going to be involved in the attack for lethal. Okay, Disruptor Flute confirmed as a card they have. Ingot Chewer being a 5-mana 3/3 confirmed, kind of relevant. May Scornful Striker is pretty spooky though. Do I want Furies in after all? Where would I put them? In Volcanic Torrent also kills May, but in a way that I might be dead before it matters. Fury's also castable. It has basically the same mana cost as Ingot Chewer. Improv Capstone. I don't have to cast this if it's getting weird, but I do like these top-end things that actually end the game. Sideboarding is hard. I want this card, but I also don't want this card. Okay, I've decided I don't want this card. Let's go. Same deck. Okay, I have my colors, I have my spells. I don't have Wasteland Insulation this time, but I cannot afford to worry about that. This is a turn 3 send with no disruption. And a Thoughtseize can't take both of my cards, so it's a turn 3 send through a discard spell. Wasteland makes it much worse. Surveil to the top. Bobble. Bobbling me. That makes Disruptor Flute better. Now you know one of the cards in my hand. Just good deck building. I drew a Maelstrom Wanderer. I'm going to play out the scary. There's no reason to hold that back. If they have Wasteland, they'll have it at any other time too. Dark Ritual. Awful. Thoughtseize. Okay, I'm glad that happened before Dothy Voidwalker. Yeah, this could have been Dark Ritual, Voidwalker, Thoughtseize, next turn kill you with Emrakul. But this sequencing makes me think it's May, or they might have Disruptor Flute after looking at my hand, which would be a smart way to do it too. Oh, they could have had it! They could have had Emrakul. If they have another Thoughtseize, they could still have Emrakul. I'm not out of the woods yet. Tybalt's Trickery. Okay, well, that means I have to play Gemstone Mine because I have to counter a Thoughtseize if they play one. And now I'm extremely in trouble to a Wasteland, but they just missed a land drop. If they have Wasteland now, they just drew it. Wow, that's lucky. Just a sequencing blowout. Netherglyph. I do not care about that. Okay. It's time to demonstrate my technique. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. And I am going to demonstrate. All right, let's see some Moonshadow shit I don't care about. They hit Dark Ritual. Yeah, that might flash in something that matters. We saw that in round 1, where they got to do a little bit of something. Like, they could cast... Oh, well, or I'll just hit Emrakul, that's fine. All right, please don't have an Edict with that 3 mana. Here's Emrakul, where Edict actually puts it in the void where I might be cooked, like, even worse than normal. Trickery. Does this work? I don't think so. Yeah, that just fizzles. Okay, I shouldn't have cast that. All right, I will pass, and whether they do anything with this mana right now or not is a big deal. Mana's being spent. Disruptor Flute. I don't care about that. Okay. I get an extra turn, and they have to win the game with no permanence. Okay. Named Violent Outburst one last time for the road. Okay, yeah, that flute was almost dangerous. I will attack, delete all your stuff, and I have up my counterspell, my Tybalt's Trickery, as it were. That particular counterspell. Opponent goes to 3 and has no stuff. And they're dead. What a run. We were a Trinisphere double Mindbreak Trap blind flip Trinisphere away from trophying with this Bosh Iron Golem deck. Oh, that's so heartbreaking. Why, round 4 opponent, why couldn't you have just flipped the Karn or something I didn't care about? Okay, pretty good run. I do think, I mean, obviously, the Bosh, he appeared in 2 games that, or he appeared in a game that I won and a match that I won separately. I did not win the first game that he appeared, and I probably lost that game because he was in the deck. Like, obviously, if we're trying to be serious about this, this doesn't need to be a Yorion deck. That just lets us focus the cards we really care about more. The Bosh is just for fun. And I think the cascading is wonky in this list, and it might be because it's a Yorion build. Like, the density of having 12 things that cascade into Tybalt's Trickery and only 4 trickeries to go back up the chain. Like, so we have Emrakul, Apex Devastator, Wanderer, Call, Ultimatum, and Capstone that can go up to the top and either win or keep going. That's 15 top-end cards that can chain into each other, and 12 cards that Trickery could flip into. So it's a slightly weighted coin flip, whether Trickery will get you up into the top end or just keep you treading water in the bottom end. And once you Trickery 4 times, the bottom end are blank hits after that. And I think if this was not trying to be a Yorion deck and we focused our slots, that would be a better payout. But obviously at that point, I'm just describing a deck that already exists, and it's not a fun take on the archetype. It's just the archetype. But I'm just pointing out the in-deck building, adding 20 cards, figuring we still have enough density. That might be true to start the chain, but then the chain gets much weaker if we have to do these things to get into the position where we start the chain, which was just pretty cool to observe in real life. Where this looks great on paper, the actual application, there's more going on there. I also got to resolve a Noise Marine for the first time, and it instantly killed my opponent. That's a lot of fun. This is a card that some folks talked about a little bit when Warhammer first came out, but hasn't actually materialized as part of the metagame because it's not really what we're doing here. I am very happy with this outing. This was a blast to do, and that frickin' Trinisphere is going to haunt my dreams, because this was, I think, as close as I might ever get to trophying with Bosh Iron Golem in Legacy. Confucius, thanks for sending this in. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon to support the channel, and I'll see you next time.